And we are fresh off our last video discussion, which was about Parktown residences, and today I am continuing this series where I break down the next new launch, which also happens to be in Tampines, and it's also just next door. This time it's an EC, it's called Aurelle. If you are like me, you would have to Google what the hell Aurelle means, and now we know it simply means golden. So now I've got intro already. Originally it was supposed to be 30 seconds, but I asked the editor, can we cut it to 5 seconds? The editor said cannot lah, and we compromised, and now we have a 10 seconds introduction for every video, which is not so bad. Today, what we'll be talking about is why Aurelle sizes are so small. Entrance is amazeball. Showflat is kinda sus. Why Parktown residence is better, but Aurelle will sell out faster. Market comparison with the most recent EC sales in Tampines, nearest resale EC which is Citylife, newest resale private which is Treasures at Tampines, next EC in 2026 which is Safra Tampines next door. We don't know the name yet. We'll talk about the floor plans, we'll talk about the expected pricing, and then investors who will be buying from you in future. Duh, obvious answer. Is this a strong buy or not? So as you can see, there's a lot for us to cover. Let's get straight to it. First, I'm going to be talking about GFA Harmonisation. Now, if you are familiar with the concept, please go ahead and skip to the next section. Aurelle will be one of the first few ECs that is under the new GFA Harmonisation rules, which essentially means you are getting the same layout, same size, but it will be presented to you in a smaller square footage. Now, I think this Stakeholders article has done a very good job explaining it in detail, and here you can see the same house, alright, but the developers are no longer allowed to charge you the aircon ledges. So if they choose to build you a ridiculously huge aircon ledge just to house 2 aircon compressors, like some developers in the past, then they cannot charge consumers for it already. Which is fine, which is why you'll find moving forward, a lot of projects seems to be getting smaller and smaller. The good news is, it's smaller only on paper, which means that you'll see higher per square foot values, as developers are not gonna absorb the cost of the aircon ledges. Okay, they will simply mark up the rest of the livable space as we see explained in this article. So on to the next topic. I brought my team to check out the Aurelle Showflat during the agent's briefing. On that day, some parts of the Showflat were not completed yet, which is why they only invite the agents. And typically during the agent's briefing, we have to surrender our phones. So today, there's no photos, no videos of the Showflat that I can share with you, but this is what I saw. Okay, and what I saw was quite impressive. The Showflat, which is located physically right beside Angsana Primary School, is not on site. And if you're headed to the Showflat, I suggest that you park at the opposite estate where the McDonald's is, and then you walk over to the Showflat. Experience that, because that's how far it is to walk from the real side of Aurelle to the future Parktown Mall, MRT, and basically that's how far you will be from the center of the entire Tampines North Universe. First impressions count. I don't know what first impression you have of me, but otherwise, the first impression that you make of a condo usually starts where? At the gut house. What happens when this is what you see at the gut house? Or this? If it's not clear enough, alright, these are condos nearby in the area where the security posts or the condos entrances are right beside the project's dumpster. Obviously, you can see the name of the project. I'm not gonna bother removing them because it's quite well known. I mean, if you just drive past, you can see it. Now, here's the thing. Over the years, I've helped clients sell and buy in this very project, okay? Some of them bought for investment, alright? That's where I get to meet buyers, I get to meet sellers, I get to meet tenants of these projects. And what I'm gonna say today is based on my personal experience and feedback from the buyers, from the tenants I encounter. They usually say that the gut house, the drop-off point, because you know lah, that's where you enter the condo, you have to report to the security counter and all that. The vibes of it all is it's not impressive, okay, to put it nicely. Immediately, buyers, tenants can be turned off, and it will take a great deal of effort just to flip their opinions about the entrance. It's just the entrance. Everything else for the project, okay, but they just don't like the entrance. Eventually, some people don't mind, but I can tell you there are also some who don't. And some of you may have known that I actually used to stay in one of these very projects, and I do agree too, okay, because, because my father-in-law mentioned that one of the reasons he doesn't like to come and visit was because how stressful it was for him to go past the security check, unlike other condos. But hey, actually that's good for me. Otherwise, check out the Aurelle's drop-off point. Today I can show you only the artist impression, but what we saw in the Showflat model, alright, it's really impressive because the residents don't even have to worry about the delivery trucks, the visitors blocking their entrances, because the security post is just located deep inside the roundabout. Residents can just bypass, okay? You won't be caught in the traffic jam. Then you check out the clubhouse. It looks really amazing in the photos, and I can tell you can't really sense it there, but it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be big. We saw how big it was in the Showflat and the models and all that. And the function room, check out the function room. Wow, nice. Okay, you remember my other video that I said that there's a project in Tampines that doesn't even have a function room. My place here, the developer back then forgot to build a function room. Let me show you. This is my place. And mind you, that project is not an EC. It's a condo. Full condo. This one is an EC, and one of my agents said to me in the Showflat that, wow, nowadays ECs look even better than condos even. Enough with all of this artist impression. Next topic, let's talk about the Showflat itself. I just want to highlight that, it's been some time since I got turned off by a Showflat, and Aurelle is probably one of the next one. What you're gonna get in the Showflat are these 3 options, okay? Of these 3, one stands out horribly. Alright, it is this 3+ study option. It is the first layout you'll see when you enter the Showflat. And I really wish that I have photos and videos to share today, but I guess I need to do another video once they open the Showflat to the public. What went wrong, opinion, was the interior design. The choice of making the living room with additional feature walls that extended to the ceiling, I think made the place look feel and look smaller, which was very unsimilian because I've been to their previous Showflats at Botany, at Treasures Tampines, I think the most recent one was at Emerald Katong, which was all very impressive. I will post it on my IG stories, herohomes.sg. Check it out. In the next few days, I'll definitely be sharing once the embargo is over. Otherwise, let's remain objective and study the floor plans. The first thing you should note is that there is almost no wasted space in any of these layouts. Unlike the neighboring project Parktown Residences, where some of this layout has these like privacy foyer thingies, like waste time one. Anyway, note the common room in Aurelle, right? These are all 9 square meters. Alright, which is bigger than some of the new launch condos in today's market. For example, neighboring Parktown bedrooms, some of them are less than 9 square meter. Okay lah, 8.8. But still, it's bigger in Aurelle. Balconies are around 6 square meters. Today, it's very common to install zip-track blinds, and this balcony is large enough for you to have your dining set up permanently in the balcony so that you have more space in your living area. The good thing is, notice how these layouts, all of the aircon ledges are at the back of the unit, near the kitchen. This is very important because this is what you want. What you don't want is to have the aircon ledges in front of your common bedrooms because it's going to look like this if it does. You're going to have 3/4 windows in your bedrooms, which is not as bright as full-length window, of course. And because of that, I rate the entire project's floor plans as a solid 8 out of 10. I would give it a 9 or higher if we actually see a 3-bedder with a landscape layout. Landscape layouts today is usually reserved for bigger units like your 4-bedder, 5-bedder, but sometimes we do get rare and very kind developers that will do this kind of wide frontage landscape layout, like you can find in this resale condo in River Isle, where I recently sold one project of a compact 3-bedder with that exact layout I'm talking about. I can tell you the feedback from all the buyers who come and view and offered, they were all very impressed with the layout. That's what you want nowadays. Not easy to get. Anyway, you also need to know that developers need to maximize the size, the layout. They're here to make a profit. So portrait living rooms are the most economical option for developers. Earlier, I started by slamming the Showflat quality of this 3+ study layout. The other 2 layouts are actually great. Yeah, I really like the 3-bedder compact Showflat that they have. And you need to understand that just as how you should not be swayed by the frills of a Showflat, you should also not be turned off by poor ID choices of a Showflat. Again, poor ID is also very subjective. You may like, 90% of you may like what I don't like, so we'll see lah. But if it is a poor layout, we'll call it for what it is. But this layout was just like nice on the inside, ugly on the outside. Again, that's my preference. I leave it to you to make your own decision. Let's talk about something more substantial surrounding the project itself. We move on to the next topic. We're gonna have a massive development that will take some time to complete. It is an integrated hub that has MRT to it. How many ECs in Singapore are actually so close to MRT nowadays? Not much, alright? And Aurelle buyers will be blessed to be less than 5 minutes walk from this ITH. They'll be able to enjoy the benefits of these amenities without having to pay 2002, 2003, 2004 PSF like the Parktown buyers have to. And I can tell you that these amenities definitely are superior, way better than Aurelle. I'm in talks with some of my friends to somehow pool our funds together, use one of our homeless friends' name to buy a 3-bedder unit together. The project is just amazing. Parktown is just so big, so good, so nice. We saw the Showflat on the agent's briefing day, and I have to say the Showflat definitely beats Aurelle's hands down. What am I doing talking about Parktown in Aurelle? You have to note that they are side by side. They are selling at the same time. And a lot of buyers who can afford Parktown can also buy Aurelle and vice versa. So it's a clear comparison. And if you recall in my previous video about Parktown, I mentioned that if you can, you must go for Aurelle. So if Aurelle is so good, why am I claiming that Parktown is going to be the 2025's blockbuster launch with the right price, right product, right location, blah, 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 blah. Essentially, Aurelle, you're gonna get all of Parktown's benefit at a much discounted price. Keyword here, discount subsidized. You know what it means. Nothing comes easy, nothing comes free. Today, I'm gonna estimate Parktown is launching around 2001, 2002, 2003 PSF, maybe 2004 PSF. But the sales team was telling us to quote our clients 2450 PSF plus onwards, maybe even up to 2627 PSF. In Tampines North, guys, that is crazy high. So while Aurelle is going to be priced around 1600, 1750 PSF range, okay, which means this is the purchase price, the price range comes with restrictions. You must be a Singaporean family, household, you must have an income ceiling of no more than 16,000, and that income ceiling, that restriction is crazy mad due to how the loan structure works to buy an EC, which is under MSR, instead of a TDSR for a full private condo. So if you're eligible for an EC still, down the road, you are going to be sitting on massive profits. Why? Let's use the compact 3-bedder comparison between these two projects side by side. Parktown 926 square feet. Let's use conservatively 2003 PSF. So 926 times 2003 PSF, you're going to get 2129 mil. Aurelle, you have 840 square feet. Let's use 1007 PSF. You're going to have 1428 mil. Okay? That is a 600 plus thousand price gap. Look at the timeline. Parktown will TOP estimated in 2029. People who buy today. Not everyone wants to move in. Like, I want to flip the property. And let's just use a conservative profit margin of 300, 350 for a 3-bedder. That means selling down the road for 2.47 or 2650 PSF. And today in 2025, do you know what prices Ori in Toa Payoh sold for? They went off for 2007 average, 2009, 3000 even in 2025 today. So in 2029, will Parktown be able to sell for 2.4, 2006 PSF, 2.4 mil or 2006 PSF? I don't know. Is it difficult to happen? I don't think so. Because today, things are already lining up for prices to go in that direction in Tampines North already. Again, in 2029, Parktown just TOP, Aurelle would have just TOP as well. Or maybe Aurelle is faster, maybe it's 1 year old already. But thing is, Aurelle owners cannot sell yet in 2029. There's the MOP. They'll just have to watch as the neighbors in Parktown sell in the resale market, see the prices fly, and then potentially in 2033, that's when they hit the MOP, then they can sell. Then, what will happen to the prices at Parktown? Okay? And then to compare, what kind of prices can the sellers in Aurelle go for? Buyers will eventually have to see that I can get the same amenities just across the street and I don't have to pay the kind of prices I have to pay for in Parktown. So if you're here for the long term, Aurelle is definitely the one to go for. Lower entry price, but much higher profits potentially. Okay, that's the benefit of an EC, but it's just so restrictive. Right now, no point comparing with hypotheticals. Okay, let's compare with the completed resale condos in the area and just see how Aurelle prices stack up. Before we go to the completed projects, let's compare the most recent EC sales in Tampines, which is next door, Tenet, which the developer sold within 6 months from January to July of 2023. Take note, back then, Tenet was the most expensive EC. It was breaking records all over the place. And it was before the GFA harmonization, which effectively makes the sizes larger on paper only. Look at the prices back then. The PSF average of 13901430 PSF. You're not going to see that anymore today in 2025. Likely Aurelle, you're going to see 1650 PSF. It's likely going to be the most expensive ECs of Singapore at this point of time. But let's skip that. We just go back to harmonization comparison. We're likely going to see 1650 PSF average in Aurelle, and if we adjust it for harmonization, we bring in the aircon ledgers. It brings down the PSF to just 1520 PSF. That's still a 7% higher price jump than what Tenet was selling for. Is this acceptable? Just next door. 7% higher. I'm just gonna use one very simplified way to justify this, up to you to agree or not. Alright, let's just say every year land prices go up 3% because of inflation. Tenet was sold in 2023, today we're selling in 2025. That's a 2 years gap whereby prices went up by 7%. I think that's fine. And if we can get a lower average of 1650 PSF for all of Aurelle, I think you're gonna get a good deal of the developers' cost prices. Okay, we're done with Tenet. Let's go close to the current central region of Tampines where we'll find the nearest resale EC, which also happens to be walking distance of the nearest MRT right now in Tampines. And that means you're within an earshot of a trinity of malls in Tampines. Tampines Mall, Tampines 1, Century Square. Where else in Singapore do you get 3 malls within walking distance of each other? Less than 1 minute, less than 2 minutes, you're in 3 malls vicinity. Citylife, one thing to note, has a 2-bedder layout, which is missing in Aurelle and Tenet, unfortunately. I don't know why we don't get this layout, these 2 projects, because I'm very sure that they we are going to be in super high demand for a 2-bedder. Otherwise, here's the 3-bedder and 4-bedder average prices. There's no 5-bedders in Citylife, but we do have that in Aurelle. Now, Citylife was recently in the news for minting a millionaire for just a mid-floor 4-bedder unit, guys. It looks like one way to guarantee good profits is for you to buy early and buy big, and you know what to do. You can call me to do that. Okay? If this resale EC, it was completed back in 2016. Today, it is 9 years old. And by the time Aurelle TOPs in 2028, Citylife will be 12 years old. By the time Aurelle MOPs in 2033, Citylife will be 17 years old. Do you think the buyers will still want to pay the same prices for a 17-year-old EC versus a 5-year-old resale EC? Same price? I don't think so. It's age gap, right? How much do I think you can sell Aurelle for upon MOP? Only a crystal ball can answer you, but I find that the prices in Citylife can eventually support your Aurelle exit down the road comfortably. Okay, and then we go to the Treasure at Tampines, which happens to be today the youngest resale project in Tampines. A very, very popular resale project. And wow, look at the prices. Okay, it's resale prices is 1 year old. It's not near any MRT. Sure, some of you will say that, well, I can walk to Simei, there's Tampines Round Market, but come on, how to fight? How to fight your Aurelle when it's right next door to MRT, right next door to a huge mall? Alright, so if we do see Aurelle launching at 1650 PSF, okay, this would be the hypothetical price matrix. Alright, 16, 165, 17, which actually makes it cheap, no? Tell me you disagree and why in the comments, please. Okay? Genuinely, I think it's going to be quite well priced compared to what we have in the market right now. And then we have to compare with the upcoming next EC, which is probably going to be launched in 2026 onwards. Right? Located not too far away, Tampines South, where Safra Tampines East, this plot of land is just behind. Now, to compare, Aurelle was acquired by Simlian for 7:1 per square foot per plot ratio. And this next EC was acquired for 7% higher land cost, which means that we're going to see a higher entry price, but without the proximity of the largest integrated mall and transport hub at your doorstep. But you will get the second largest mixed development of Tampines in this plot. Alright, not so bad, huh? But all in all, I do feel that Aurelle's expected launch price will set eligible buyers for a bountiful and profitable investment. Think of this like your second BTO application, where to get a BTO, it's not easy, right? Imagine today you're buying a brand new property for the same price or cheaper than older project in the same area. Okay, that's going to guarantee you some profits down the road. This clearly is a strong must buy from me. Do consider yourself lucky if you are still under the 16,000 income ceiling and have the funds from your current profits from the CPF savings to be eligible, to be able to afford to buy a project in Aurelle. It's not easy at all to be able to buy a unit in Aurelle. Now, the location speaks for itself. I barely spoke about the location except for Parktown, you know. But you need to know that we are surrounded by BTOs who will eventually form your nucleus of future buyers when you're ready to offload in the resale market in 7, 8, 9, 10 years time. And of course, this is the most important, guys. The most important. If you are looking to get direct and professional assistance regarding your potential upgrading move or to buy an Aurelle unit, you know where to go and you know how to hit me up. You can go to my website, herohomes.sg. That's where you'll find my contact details, or you can even contact any of my agents in Hero Homes. They are well trained and positioned to be able to advise you whether Aurelle is the right fit for you, whether there's a better resale project in the market for you. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.